Once upon a time, in a small village nestled among rolling hills, there lived a young man named Hero.
Now, Hero wasn't your typical village lad. He was known far and wide for his restless mind.
It was a constant whirlwind of thoughts, a storm of anxieties, a single breath of true peace, but his mind was a cluttered room with no space left to stand.
One sunny afternoon, while sitting by the village well,
Hero overheard whispers of a renowned Zen master.
This master, they said, lived a hermit's life atop a distant, cloud-kissed mountain. Legend had it that he held the key to unlocking inner peace, the secret to calming the most turbulent of minds.
A spark of hope ignited within Hero. This was it. This was the journey he had to take.
Driven by this newfound purpose, Hero packed a small bag and set off. The journey was long and arduous.
Each step was a battle against his own exhaustion and the nagging doubts in his mind.
But the thought of the Zen master's wisdom pulled him forward, a beacon in the fog of his thoughts. After what felt like an eternity, Hero finally reached the summit. The air was thin and crisp, and the world stretched out below him like a vast, beautiful map. There, under the shade of an ancient pine tree, sat the Zen master. He was an old man with a face etched with lines of kindness, his eyes closed in deep, serene meditation. Hero approached with a heart full of reverence and a little bit of awe.
He bowed low, his forehead nearly touching the ground.
Master, I have traveled a great distance to seek your guidance.
My mind is a relentless storm, and I yearn for the calm you possess. Please, can you teach me how to empty my mind?
The Zen master slowly opened his eyes. They were a deep, clear brown, and they held a universe of tranquility. A gentle, knowing smile played on his lips.
Empty your mind, you say?
Very well. I will teach you.
The master stood, his movements graceful and unhurried, and led Hero to a small, secluded courtyard. It was a place of simple beauty, with carefully raked gravel and a few blossoming cherry trees.
in the very center of this peaceful space stood a large stone basin.
Hero watched, intrigued, as the master picked up a wooden ladle and a small, empty bowl from a nearby bench.
The master dipped the ladle into the large basin, scooping up a perfect measure of water.
With a steady hand, he poured it into the smaller, empty bowl. Your task is simple. Empty the basin. The master said, his gaze calm and direct.
You must transfer all the water from this large basin into this smaller bowl. And
you must do so without spilling a single drop.
The bowl was tiny, barely able to hold a few ladlefuls.
Hero stared at the scene before him, utterly bewildered. The basin was enormous, holding gallons of water. How could he possibly fit an ocean into a teacup? It seemed like an impossible, nonsensical riddle. But this was a Zen master, and Hiro trusted there was a deeper lesson hidden within the task. He nodded, accepting the challenge.
With a deep breath, he picked up the ladle and began. Scoop, pour, scoop, pour. To prevent even a single droplet from escaping.
But the more he tried, the more frustrated he became.
The water level in the basin barely seemed to change, while the small bowl was constantly overflowing.
His mind, which he had hoped to calm, became even more chaotic.
Thoughts of failure, impatience, and confusion crashed against the shores of his consciousness. "This is impossible," his mind screamed. The sun began to set, casting long shadows across the courtyard, and Hiro felt a wave of despair wash over him.
"This is impossible," his mind screamed.
The Zen master, who had been observing from a distance, approached him quietly.
He placed a gentle hand on Hiro's tense shoulder.
Hiro, my dear student,
You are so focused on the outcome, on the impossible goal, but you have forgotten the first and most crucial step.
you are trying so hard to empty the basin.
The first step, Master. What is it?
To empty the basin, you must first empty your mind.
But Master, that's what I came here to learn. How do I empty my mind?
Let go. Let go of your worries about finishing. Let go of your fear of spilling the water. Let go of your attachment to success or failure. Forget about the basin. Forget about the bowl.
Be fully present in the scooping and the pouring. Focus only on this one single action.
Feel the cool wood of the ladle in your hand. Hear the gentle splash of the water.
Hiro took a deep, shuddering breath, and as he exhaled, he let go. He released his grip on frustration.
He let go of the need to succeed.
He stopped trying so hard and simply began to be.
He dipped the ladle into the water, not to empty the basin, but just to dip the ladle. He watched the water swirl.
He poured it into the small bowl, not to fill it, but just to pour.
He savored the sound, the sensation, the simple, beautiful act of it. Slowly, gradually, a profound shift occurred. His frantic thoughts quieted down. The inner chatter faded into a gentle hum, and then into silence.
His mind became as clear and still as the water in the basin.
His movements became fluid, effortless, a graceful dance between him, the ladle, and the water. He had entered a state of pure focus, a state of flow.
The water found its way, and the basin began to empty at a surprising pace.
It felt less like a task and more like a collaboration with existence itself.
Finally, with one last, graceful movement, Hero poured the very last drop of water from the basin.
He stood there, holding the empty ladle, looking at the empty basin and the perfectly managed water.
A feeling of profound peace washed over him, deeper and more real than anything he had ever known. He turned to the Zen master, his eyes filled with a new light of understanding and immense gratitude.
You see, Hero, the mind is like this basin.
When you try to force it, to control it, you only create more turbulence.
But when you empty your mind of attachments and simply focus on the present moment, you allow the universe to flow through you.
You become one with the task, and everything falls into place, effortlessly.
Hero bowed deeply, not just in respect, but in true, heartfelt understanding. He had come seeking a secret technique to empty his mind, but he had learned something far more valuable.
He learned that the secret was not a technique, but a state of being.
They were inside him all along, waiting to be discovered.
The peace and clarity he had been searching for weren't on top of a mountain. From that day forward, Hero carried the wisdom of the Zen master not as a memory, but as a living presence in his heart.
He returned to his village, but he was a changed man.
His mind was no longer a restless storm, but a calm, clear lake, reflecting the beauty of the world around him.
And in that stillness, he found his true home.
Thank you for watching.
If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that helps you find your own inner peace.